Hey guys, it's Matt. Bill has provided us with two posters, which can easily be the basis of this entire video presentation. The first one here is the Undead Follies. I'll show you the other one in just a moment, then we'll flip-flop between the two. This relates to the stalled century conversation that we're going to have. There is a group of what we'll call Not Milk superstars or top ghouls. It seems like the Not Milk has to keep a certain classification of undead going to facilitate their stalled century presentation. And what Bill has here on the list, this is nothing. I mean, he could have put, how many can you squeeze onto a screen? Mick Jagger could have put out there the Jumpin' Jack Flash at age 80. Vanna White is still turning letters. So here's what we have. Nancy Pelosi, 83 and still ticking. Pope Francis, 87 and still ticking. Jacob Rothschild, 87. Tony Bennett, 97. But Bill has Earth years, which means there's certainly a possibility he's going off to David Bowie Island, where he'll live maybe 400 or 500 more years, as long as the right vampiric sustenance is provided. David Rockefeller, 101. Bill has here Earth years. There's a story here. He petitioned very hard to match his age, where they just come right back into another body. He wanted to match his age to code the number of floors in North and South. But nobody would believe it. He said, no, if we push you, David, to 110, nobody's going to buy it. They'll actually start to believe the conspiracy nuts that you are something else. 101 is the closest we can get you to 110, but we'll get you back into a body a little bit sooner. Is that okay? He said, that's okay. I wanted the 110, but go ahead. Do what you need to do. Rupert Murdoch, 92, I guess the primary owner of News Corp, Fox, 20th Century Fox. You know this Not Milk story, don't you? He bought, say the year 2000, maybe 99, they bought a MySpace, which was the primary social media in the world at the time. And then just 3 years later, it was completely run into the ground. And exactly at the time when people started to jump ship on MySpace and become very disillusioned that the new company had changed the spirit of what it once was, then it made the way for Facebook. Facebook was just coming into prominence at the time that News Corp was destroying MySpace. Oh, I guess you'd have to be one of those people to believe the story is somehow related. And there was another one at the time that they removed from the landscape to pave the way for Facebook called Friendster. Guess anybody over age 45? Do you remember Friendster? There was like a 20-some-year-old was in charge of Friendster. I remember some interview, it was like on Oprah or something, vaguely, where they're saying, you could get $1 billion for it. And he's like, no, it could be much bigger. We're not going to sell out. We're going to stay. Dude, you should have sold. Well, I'm sure somebody came along and gave him some money to say, go away. See, the one the CIA picked was Facebook. Everything else has to go away. But you'd have to be one of those people to believe in that sort of story. Larry Silverfish, 92, and Bill says here, still ticking. Do you remember all the details of that Not Milk story? You might forget some of the details. He took over the lease just a few months before the big event. And then he said, let me see my insurance contracts. Oh, I need to make sure the T-ism clauses are in here. And he revised his insurance just a few weeks before September. Oh, sure. The greedy Silverfish fought for years to get a double payment out of the insurance company. I don't know what they call it, double indemnity or something like that. And the insurance company said, no, it's one event. It's one man in a cave event. We ain't paying double. It's not one event. You look at TV. Look what happened. 9:30. This one went. And then like 35 minutes later, this one went. It's two events. And he fought for years in the courts to get another few $1 billion, the greedy bastard. George Soros, 93, and still ticking. Guys, one of the key things about Stalled Century is it's not just that they're alive, they're still completely engaged. That is the Stalled Century giveaway. They're still working. Warren Buffett, nobody ever goes away. That is a real definitive symptom that you're dealing with a high-level creep, that they don't just go off and say, I've done enough. I'd like to relax for 10 years. Like an exorcist Energizer bunny, they just keep going. They keep working, making deals, buying and selling companies. And then when they buy one, they just lay everybody off you. Go away. We're going to replace you with AI and machines. George Soros, real quick before we move on to the next one, which is Warren Buffett. The city of Ferguson, Missouri would like to present you with the key to the city. Anytime you're anywhere near Ferguson, please come back. We have the ceremony ready. We have the 7th graders ready to play their instruments. The key to the city. We'd like to thank you, George, for the riots, the Cake in a Lake event about that one young man going into the convenience store. What a bunch of bullcrap. And by the way, George, thank you, sir. Can we have another? Warren Buffett, 93, and of course, still actively engaged in all his companies and business dealings. Oh, that makes sense too. Still giving CNBC interviews, and we're going to buy this company and sell that. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Don't you ever want to just go off on a beach somewhere for 6 months and just relax and be left alone? This is a symptom, guys, of the stalled century players. The ghouls, the top ghouls of the not milk, the stalled century players, the undead follies. They never go away. Guys, we're so used to seeing these ages associated with these people. We're becoming like habituated to it. But we need to really realize what's going on here. Warren Buffett, 93. This is 7 years off of 100. Think about that. 7 years from now, is he going to be going into work? I mean, you guys see how much of a giveaway this is, but we're so used to it. My friend Tony, it's just like a given that they just all keep working. But, I'm in my early 50s and I want to take naps. I mean, at some point, guys, this is so artificial. Who knows where they're getting their energy from? Or, well, we know, don't we? It's the worst parts of Jupiter ascending. In the movie, they hand her the vial of Lush, and she drops it like a canister on the floor, and it smashes. Is it true 100 real humans had to die for that? Yeah, it's okay. You smashed it. 100 humans had to die for that. We got a lot more. Who knows where they get their energy? There's an egregore that comes in and sleeps over their bed at night or something. Who knows? But it's so artificial. And to me, Warren Buffett is playing the Sam Walton role. Remember, Sam Walton, we hear all the stories, of course. He drove the same old pickup truck. It doesn't matter how many billions he had, in the same old house. And then Sam Walton died, so you need somebody to take those cue cards or that not milk script. And Warren Buffett picked it up right about this time when Sam Walton died. He drives the same car, and he lives in the same house, and he doesn't really spend any money. And his net worth is up to $115 billion. And just like Melvin of the Belinda and Melvin P. Gates Foundation, he promised to give all his money away too. But he's like, I don't have any infrastructure to give all this money away, so I'm going to give all my money to the Gates Foundation, the Melvin P. and Belinda Foundation that promised to give all their money away. So they all promised to give all their money away, yet when they made the promise, their net worth was only 50 to 70 billion. Now it's over 100 billion for both, yet they've promised to give all their money away, but the net worth keeps going up and up and up. And then your friends and people like my friend Tony, they just have excuses for it. Matt, they are giving away tons of money. You know how hard it is to give away that much money? No, it's not. When a giant hurricane takes out half of Puerto Rico 8 years ago, you could have given 20 billion to the island overnight, and there your net worth then goes from 100 to 80 in one thing. See how easy it is? It's not hard to give away your entire fortune if you're actually trying to help people. See, that's the small problem. That's the part of the equation in their matrix, like the integral anomaly. Neo, that's the part they can't balance out. It's like, well, how do we give this money away? We say we're going to give it away, but we're not allowed to actually help anybody in need. That is one of the key parts of the definition of philanthropy, because philanthropy is when people have billions. Charity is just when you give it away. It's philanthropy when these assholes give it away. And part of the hidden definition of philanthropy is it can't actually go to help real people. So of course it's hard to give away. It's like you need to restore this forest after a forest fire, and you're a rich person, so you have all these little sapling trees, hundreds of millions of sapling trees, and you've got the workers, but you're not allowed to put a sapling in the ground. Well, how do I restore the forest if I can't put all the saplings that I own in the ground? I don't know, but you have to figure it out. That they can't figure a way to get rid of their money. It just keeps going around and around between them, so they get tax write-offs, and their net worth keeps going up and up. But if you say there's no real philanthropy going on at all for the most part, maybe tiny little bits, like we've said, they get the used hot dogs ready to be thrown out at the grocery store, and the Gates and Belinda Melvin Foundation takes the used hot dogs or the old hot dogs and they give them out to the homeless. They'll do the minimum amount to qualify as a real charity, the minimum amount to make it look believable. But there's no problem at all to my friend Tony and your best friends and family that they promise to give all their money away. The net worth keeps going up and up and up over $1 billion. There's no issue at all. And Matt, Don't you know how hard it is to give? No, give me $100 billion. Allow me to do good with it. And I could be done with it in probably a month. I could give it away. And okay, a lot of it would be stolen. A lot of it would go to Idi Amin or whatever would be stolen if I gave it away that quickly, my $100 billion. But I assure you, a lot of it would help real people. And if I only had a month, these creeps have 25 days. Well, they have a lot more than that. They're the undead. They have an unlimited amount of time. So let's move on. You Warren Buffett. He's not a friendly old man. Thou art a villain, if you ask me. Let's just move. Why doesn't he should just hook up with the guy next to him, George Soros. Go hook up with your friend George and start ruining and collapsing economies or something. Go do that for a while. Give up your Berkshire Hathaway real estate freaking posters all over the place here with some obnoxious realtor on. Go away. Sorry. Jimmy Carter is next. If anybody's screaming at me, well, Matt, he's not out doing a lot of things and in your face and in the limelight. They have to keep him quiet. Nobody would ever believe in politics again. But he's going to be 100 soon. And oh boy, the next one, Henry Kissinger, 100 years old. I assure you, if I go look it up right now, he's active in something or other. It's just the way these schools work. I haven't researched it. And somebody sent me a great joke. What was it? I forget it exactly. It was like, I thought, it was in a comment just a few videos back. I thought I was kissing her, but it was Kissinger. I thought it was funny as shit. I don't think I presented it properly. That joke was better than what I just presented. Guys, I went away for a minute. I had to look it up. When I said a few minutes back, there's probably something. He's in the news currently. They never go away. I knew there'd be something. I looked it up. Boom, right? Oh, no. CBS Sunday Morning, current interview, Kissinger at 100. What's his name? Ted Koppel interviewing him. And they said, Dr. Kissinger, if you placed a call to the Chinese premier this morning, do you think he'd return your call? And he said, I believe it. I can do voices pretty well, but I can't do. I believe it is a good chance he return my call. And they asked him, Dr. Kissinger, if we placed a call to Vladimir Putin saying that Dr. Kissinger would like a return call, do you think he'd return your call? I believe he would return my call. Henry, can we call you Henry? Thou art a villain. And Bill has closed here. We'll just keep it very brief. Who knows what can be said and loaded? The Queen, and he has it labeled appropriately, Earth years. And this is just the number of heads that could fit on the poster. If we wanted to continue to play, like the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, who would be, in terms of the same stalled century presentation, Impossible Ages, who would be the next one we'd put if we had more room on the poster? That's right. Who in the back of the class said that? Prince Philip, 99. When he died. Matt, at what age when he said he wanted to come back as a virus? I don't know what age. I think he said that at age 10 or so. But 99. If we could keep playing now, who would be the 6 Degrees of Kevin? By the way, guys, this hit me a while back. It's just like, John McEnroe screaming out, "You cannot be serious," an ode to their star, their key astrology, Sirius, Sirius. The same with 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. It's a fun game to you great unwashed proletariat. I assure you there's something really occult going on with the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, related, or a story about themselves, how they're, that little girl came up with and the truth community actually still believes this. A little girl did a research project for 8th grade and showed that, oh, look, they're all related to each other. And I think the truth community today still believes that it was just a little girl that took that on, and it wasn't 100% a not milk purposeful presentation. No little girl just went off on her own to show that, oh, the Queen's related to Obama and Obama's related to Kissinger. No, the not milk wanted that presented. And in the same way, it probably presents itself in the 6 degrees or 6 bloodlines of Kevin Bacon. It's very occult, no doubt. How do you know? Because I can just feel it. I don't know what it means to them. Guys, here's an interesting personal story about the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. I'll be less than 2 minutes. I'll try to keep this as quick as I can. Oh, gosh, 15, 18 years ago, I was at a barbecue, somebody's house in Bridgeport, Pennsylvania, on the other side of King of Prussia, close to Norristown. It's a little rougher side. It's where Dallas Winston comes from, in The Outsiders. It's that side, Ponyboy Stay Gold. Can you see the sunset from the south side? Well, you can see it from the north side, too. That's Bridgeport to King of Prussia. And, some rough characters down there. Some tough guys. It's not West Philly, but okay. at the time, I'm sure it's just like everywhere else, all the money's moved in or whatever. There's probably rich people from London living down there now. And these guys were, these Goombas were down there, and there was a barbecue. I was down to a couple guys and the kegs of beer and a horseshoe pit, throwing the horseshoes. And these guys come, these no shirt, their heads were shaved. And they start the conversation. I'm playing the horseshoes with them. I'm kind of in the group, although an outsider, like, go get me out of here. Like, hey, that 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon thing? I can't. That's all I can do with the accents. I can't. I've exercised my Philadelphia accent. I can't do it no more. He says, that 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon thing? He says, that's us. What do you mean that? We did that. We came up with that. You came up, you guys, we came up with that. About 10 years ago, we came up with that or whatever. Now, they believed 100%, there's not bullshit, there's no reason to bring it up. They believe, now this is a reality giveaway in a way. They believe they came up with it. You know what? Maybe they did in this sense. Maybe it was like a frequency that went out from the Notnilk, and maybe that's how it propagates itself potentially around the world so quickly. Because you think of it, where did it come from? Why does everybody know it? Maybe there's like 1,000 people that think they came up with it because they did. They took some sort of download, and then it started propagating or spreading all over the world. Think about it. Where did it come from? I'm telling you, it's a reality, something we can use here in terms of understanding how reality works. These guys believed 100%, and my buddy was like, oh yeah, they did it. They came up with it. You came up with that. We came up with it. They believed it. Now, of course, it wasn't just them, but maybe they got the idea the same time 1,000 others took some sort of download, and maybe that's how certain things propagate around the world. It's something very interesting to remember as we move forward. This could be related to the 100th monkey effect. I paused and was looking at this for a few minutes. The 100th monkey effect is a hypothetical phenomenon. Well, no, it's not. It's pretty much proven at this point, in my opinion, but this is what Wikipedia says. In which a new behavior or idea is spread rapidly by unexplained means from one group to all related groups, once a critical number of members of one group exhibit the behavior or acknowledge the new idea. So the idea is you give a certain type of monkey on Madagascar certain tools to use or teach them something, and then all of a sudden all the monkeys all over the world are basically doing it, and you can't understand how they learn to do it other than they would be on a same or sharing some sort of frequency. So if the Notnilk wants certain things to propagate through time, like the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, or if a tree falls in the woods and there's nobody there to hear a sound, and all that Humpty Dumpty stuff that has no business being so famous around the world, but in this case it's a little bit different. It's like the Notnilk no doubt wanted the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon to propagate. Well, okay, I can't say no doubt. It just feels that way to me. After doing this for so long, you get a feel on when the Notnilk is behind something or wants something. So again, these creeps understand reality buttons and levers, right? How things work. They understand the 100th monkey phenomenon, and they never share that information or whatever they understand about it with Wikipedia. So it's like if they wanted the world to be talking about the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, and again, one must ask, well, where did this come from initially? I don't think that's really clear, but you send it out almost in a frequency. Maybe it knows the type of person that's going to think they got the idea. Like these Goomba guys that were playing horseshoes. Again, they believe they had the idea. And then maybe if the Notnilk can get 2,000 people believing at about the same time they came up with it and started talking about it, then as enough domino lines are pushed over for it to propagate around the world the way they want it. And then it cements itself into reality in some way. Their blurry image becomes clear. Maybe. At this point, we believe the download exists. We believe those on the Ship of Fools are said to be on the Ship of Fools because they've willingly aligned themselves with the frequency resonance, radio station, whatever you want to call it, of what's coming out of the Ship of Fools. They're very happy to be in the middle of the ship getting and ordering a drink from Isaac. So somebody that is on that frequency, well, maybe the Notnilk's very good at making certain people believe they have certain ideas of their own when those ideas were not their own. Guys, it's funny. I've been doing that. When I stumble upon something, I figure I'll just make fun of it and I accentuate it. I've been doing that for so long here at the channel. Let's just say I'll never be able to get another real job again. Okay, work for a corporation. I'm blacklisted. I know that, but I've told you the stories. But let's just say I did. I went back and I want to get back in the matrix like Cypher, and I went back and working for a corporation. Matt, you have to give a presentation to the executive staff of 20 people, and I was like, well, when on Tuesday. I started doing what I do for the channel presentations in the executive boardroom or something. It'd be like, what the hell's, son, get off the drugs. So this is the second of Bill's posters. I asked Bill to just, simply list out the stalled century players, but that's too simple. But Bill has to create a whole scenario. He's created like to me, it looks like a Borg maturation chamber. Reading from the top, Not Milk Nurturing Nanobite Nursery, Life Extension Medicine and Departures to David Bowie Island Travel Agency. Hello, I'm your bot tour guide. Oh, you're in luck. Honoring our creepy 2-into-1 religion, we've just spliced 2 Not Milk legends into one. The middle, it's a splicing of Jacob Rothschild with Larry Silverstein. We've combined Larry Silverstein with Jacob Rothschild, and we now affectionately call it a Silver Rothschild. A what? A Silver Child Rothstein. Look, what I want to talk about, like around the Queen there, it says destination, David Bowie Island. This is one of my favorite topics to talk about. I don't believe many or most of the prominent ones are really dead. I just don't. I don't. There's no way in the world I believe David Bowie and Prince in the elevator, and Whitney Houston was a bathtub, and her daughter was a bathtub, and Chris Cornell had given up drugs and alcohol, and he was generally one of the healthiest people you'll ever meet, and then he goes away. And I mean, the story, for example, like, what is his name? Lane Staley from Alice in Chains. This is how generally a celebrity dies. I mean, you have years of people talking about him completely going downhill and just losing 40 pounds, losing his teeth, just goes away. Nobody see. I mean, okay, you have a documented 5 to 7 year period of a downfall of somebody. Lane Staley makes sense. Alice in Chains, but you have David Bowie without one image of him suffering from cancer, and then you have all the creepy, quote, residuals have to start coming in, like the Rising from the Dead, the song or album Lazarus, just released a few days before his death. Oh, come on, what a joke. So if he's not, Prince, you have the Queen parallel. We're not going to get into that again. I will die for you. The date for you, the number of what you represents on the alphabet is the exact date, and you have 50 other things that parallel the Queen, Purple Rain, R-A-I-N with R-E-I-G-N. And okay, we don't believe it's legitimate. Maybe half of us, probably more than half in our community, as you go down to the first grade truthers, more of them are going to believe it's be sacrificed. They're to sacrifice. They pay the price, pay the devil back, blood sacrifice. They're going to believe that. It could be that in many cases. I don't know. How the heck would I know? I just get a sense it's less that and more of them just, going off, and they've done their time. What I call David Bowie Island, it sounds stupid or hokey like Gilligan's Island, but I'm being pretty literal. There is no doubt in my mind there is a landmass somewhere. Maybe it's not an island. Maybe it's attached to something. It's related in some way to whatever they call Antarctica, where they don't allow anyone to go. Who knows? There's a place that a certain group here can go that not only will you and I never be allowed to go, it doesn't exist for us. It's not on no map. Chuck D, my heroes don't appear on no stamp. It doesn't appear in any globe or any Google map or anything like that. No doubt about it. So if there's a place they can go, then it's not that difficult to put, to spill out a bottle of pills and put somebody in a bathtub and just tell the world they're dead. It's probably one of the easier things of all things they do. Maybe, this is where the old money is. My belief set on this, the Harriman, Vanderbilt, Getty, Morgan, the names that they say the old money doesn't exist, not Rockefeller, not Rothschild. This old money still exists. Of course not. They're smart enough to make it in the first place. My friend Tony has told me, quote, Matt, the generations that come after, they squander the money. It's just the same script. Maybe some of the families squandered the money, but 80% wouldn't. And they have what's called money managers. They don't have to do it themselves. I mean, obviously the old money still exists. Maybe the old money is in these landmass. Maybe they want to see Chris Farley shows. Farley might be one of the ones somebody's yelling at me like, that's like Lane Staley, Matt, or John Belushi. It was documented how he was going downhill. Okay, I haven't read all their biographies. Who cares? I don't have all the details. Those of the old money are not Milk. Not Milk is this thing here. Whatever the original adversary, like Satan, laid down in the original design of the reality system, the old money would be, for anybody in a body, any ghoul in a body would be at the highest level, in my opinion. Many levels above anybody you see on TV, or a Melvin or a Bezos or a U.S. president or anything like that. Even they, of course, serve not Milk, but, wherever they are, there's a landmass somewhere they don't tell us about. I mean, is this really conspiracy theory? I mean, this is obvious at this point. It would be nuts, of course, to... you're going to play Harry and Jenny. Listen to Matt. Of course, it's not going to go over very well. Or if my friend Tony stumbled upon this, they would think it's nuts. But it is just obvious to us at this point. Even if there is no old money or men in the shadows, there's still a place they can go. Why would they have to reveal on a map every place that exists? Okay, we could do this forever. But let's just play it out. Let's just have fun with it. Who knows who's on David Bowie Island or wherever this landmass is? And if one of them, they have a lot of clout, I would think. It says, I want Chris Farley here in person, one of them said 15 years ago. You went, well, sir, to bring Chris Farley here in person, we're going to have to cake in a lake his you-know-what. I don't care. See to it. I want him performing. If Michael Jackson is performing Tuesday and Thursdays, I want Chris Farley here on Wednesday, and I want to sit in the front row, and I want a hot dog, I want a hamburger. You'll get nothing and like it. No, they don't say that to these creeps. You'll get everything you like it. We'll bring somebody out of reality for you, out of known reality. Put a mannequin 6 feet under, have a funeral, and then have him do stand-up. I mean, look, is that happening? Maybe, but I mean, maybe we can take this too far. I don't mean to seem insane even to you, but I don't take this stuff off the table. We've seen too much. What I'm talking about now is nothing. It's a drop in the bucket. It's sane and normal compared to all the weird stuff we've witnessed on this place called Earth. This is nothing for people like us. So, of course, it would be odd if you were looking for a cat video and you stumbled upon this. But, it's fun to talk about. At the end of the day, we don't need to understand it. My personal opinion is most are still alive. Most. Whatever that means to you. I don't know, and I don't care to try to figure it out any more than that. And I really started thinking about it with David Bowie. Go watch the Black Star music video and Lazarus music video. They're both really creepy. One is especially disturbing. And then just a day or two later, they announce his death, his long battle with cancer. Where were the signs that he was battling cancer? Okay, so we had speculated, obviously, but the one that just made it 100% that he just went away was David Bowie. Nothing has been more obvious than that. And I'm not even talking about when they dressed somebody up to suck in the truth community, to say, oh, that's him dressed as a reporter talking about him after his death. That's just one more way the truth community was played. Of course, we've been played many, many times over the years. Let's stop falling for it. Thanks for listening.